It's Ehizoje, everyone's favorite Nigerian.
This that real life shit, nigga.
Do have did Trump do that this week? But I'm gonna give y'all an option. There's two choices because we gotta keep pushing it. We can either do Jimmy Kimmel or we could do Tylenol. Which one you guys want to do?
The Jimmy Kimmel's more
I think the
relevant.
Jimmy Kimmel is important.
So, all right, so let's talk about. So obviously, there was a right wing activist that was assassinated a couple weeks ago, and Jimmy Kimmel had a monologue like he always does prior to his show. The monologue didn't really focus on the right wing speaker himself, but it focused on the right wing. Go ahead, pour me up too. The right wing's response to the right wing speaker being assassinated. From there, obviously the FCC, what's his name, Stephen
Brandon Carr,
Brandon Carr. He came out that he already had issues with Jimmy Kimmel, like Jimmy Kimmel and the Trump.
He got issues with everybody. He weird.
He essentially was all like, we could do this the easy way or the hard way. Verbatim.
Like he on some mobster, some mob tie shit.
We could do this the easy way or the hard way. And essentially saying, like, alluding to the fact, like, hey, we want this guy off the air.
You already have support.
Oh, good shit.
I mean, that was already you.
And well, he doesn't drink. Well,
that's right. Yeah, that's right.
And with that being said, like, a couple of the actual broadcasters, right, decided to take Jimmy Kimmel off the air.
That's Bob Iger.
Well, the broadcasters did, and then Bob Iger and Disney decided to take Jimmy Kimmel off the air as well because they themselves had like self-interest in like working with the FCC.
So they're trying to buy that shit.
Right.
There's a deal in motion.
The thing
it's very interesting.
But hold on, let me finish. And then we could all discuss. With that being said, like Disney then brought Jimmy Kimmel back, but there's still like certain, I think it's Sinclair. I forgot the other.
It's Sinclair.
Nexstar.
Sinclair's the big one.
Nexstar and Sinclair.
Oh, Nexstar. That's right.
And Nexstar. They still, I think Sinclair actually, as of yesterday, are bringing Jimmy Kimmel back. But
I believe so.
They both agreed.
Oh, Nexstar did.
Nexstar agreed
but they're
too.
taking them out of the same time.
Nexstar agreed first. Sinclair agreed last.
Okay. And now Jimmy Kimmel's back on air, but obviously this is when you not them taking him off of air. That's not the issue because they're allowed to do whatever they want. But when the FCC gets involved with taking people off of air because of what they're saying, that's when the issue becomes problematic because you're turning it political. And the First Speech or First Amendment should never be a political thing.
The thing about it is, and I'm not saying this to be on no like tinfoil hat type shit. This is just genuinely how I feel. And it's one of those areas in which I'm comfortable in being wrong and I hope that I'm wrong. Trump is setting this shit up to where it's like, again, everything I just said doubled over. Trump does not want there to be a second election, in my humble opinion.
Third.
Trump is setting this shit. Well, yeah, third. My apologies.
Fourth.
Trump is setting this shit up to where it's really a situation of,
that's true.
If you want to fuck with me, he's running this shit like he run like a crime family. It's like if you want to come kiss the ring, like he did it with Tim Cook, he did it with all them other
all the CEOs. They've been on tour with this nigga, bro.
If you want your shit to be smooth in America, what you got for me? If you ain't got nothing for me, that's crazy. Your show canceled.
Shit crazy,
did
bro.
Y'all see? All right, so I think I forgot where he was at. I want to say maybe Turkey. I don't know. Don't quote me on this. But somebody asked him a question, and he was like, "Oh, that's a good question. Wait, where are you from?" He was like, "Oh, Turkey, CNN." He was like, "Oh, CNN, I don't really like them."
Yeah.
But you asked me a good question, so I'll answer it. And it's just like, bro, what
He
are
a
we
crime
doing,
boss,
bro?
Like he run this country like he's like the Falcons or some shit from Batman. Like this nigga's like, oh, you don't fuck with me? That's crazy. We gonna see what happened to your show in a couple of days. And that's why I really believe, like I strongly believe, and I say this with the preface of he's only been in office this term for like
7-8 months.
Not even a year. This nigga is getting into his bag, and if he has his way, we will not have an election. And maybe it'll be like a situation of we all go to the polls and whatnot, but just votes go missing because we know the niggas that's in his bag. Like he's setting it up to where he's like, if you want to fuck with me, this is what that's going to look like. And if you don't want to fuck with me, that's fine. I got niggas that are friends in important places, and all your shit will just suddenly stop working. All your shit will start looking weird.
And there's reports saying that that's exactly what happened this past election in regards of like, hey, how do we have counties that voted blue but didn't have a single vote for Kamala Harris?
Like, come on, dude.
It's crazy.
And if you even seen, like, some of the shit is funny because it's like you don't know if it's real or not, but some of the shit, like he took, I don't know if this is real or not, but I think it is. They said they have a picture of all the different presidents from all the different terms, and like Kamala shit just not there.
Biden shit.
Biden shit
just not there.
This nigga Trump is like it'd be funny if it wasn't our country that we currently lived in. If this isn't a history book, it'd be hilarious. It's on Twitter. It's in real life.
Henndawg, James.
I really just had two things real quick. This shit, this playbook, this should not be surprising to anybody. This shit is on Project 2025. This is their plan, bro. They literally are going down the docket and doing everything that's on there.
Brendan Carr replied to the, hey, this is in 2025 with the GIF.
Right.
Pretty much agreeing to it.
He tweeted about that shit, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, so we should not really be surprised. And then secondly, I touched on this before when I spoke about last week tonight, talking about, you know, all the international audiences that tune in to American news and are privy to like what's going on and the road we're going down. A lot of those nations have been dealing with dictatorships and authoritarian rules. This is literally the playbook, bro. Silence the media so then nobody can have any pushback on what I say. So it's like, everybody need to wake up. That's it. That's all I got, bro.
Absolutely. And I know we all know, but just for the listeners, like about like the whole deal shit, like let me just break it, like run it by real quick. Nexstar and Sinclair are TV operators that own a bunch of ABC stations. And Nexstar owns a decent chunk of ABC stations.
You're only allowed to broadcast around like 20-something percent.
39% is the rule.
Nationwide.
And they're in negotiations to merge with a company called Tegna, which is another TV operating company.
Which would give them over 80%.
Yeah, which would give them 80%, which is like crazy profit. Like
astronomical.
That's more than a monopoly.
Which is cool, whatever. Like, yeah, monopoly. But the FCC has a rule that you can't like do that. So Nexstar needs the FCC to change the rule and to like they have to approve of the merger. So Jimmy Kimmel didn't really say anything too crazy about this shit. Like he just got into that ballpark. He got into the parking lot of the ballpark.
He ain't say nothing, bro. To
but
be honest.
Nexstar and Disney are like, yo, you can potentially fuck up like this deal and not get us approved. Just sit down for a little bit. Hey, no. Like, you know, we handled it. Can you still approve us? It was more, you know what I mean? Like a money thing, you know what I mean? Well, which makes more sense to me when I learned that. It's like, oh, okay.
But that's all a business, bro. And it's all leverage. And the moment that you have the government stepping into like business deals, that's when you're like, okay, things are going left.
They were never going to sit Kimmel down long term because if he sued, that was $1 billion case, and he would, even if he didn't get the Billy, he'd have gotten enough. So they were never going to sit him down forever.
Because he really ain't say nothing, bro.
What I do think Kimmel said is he said the quiet part out loud.
Yes.
So he said the fact that the shooter was one of them. And that they're trying to actively.
He didn't say that. He didn't say that.
That's the thing. He didn't even say that.
He didn't say that.
He said something adjacent to that.
MAGA was trying to do everything and paint him to reaffirm that he's not a MAGA person.
But we don't know if he is or is not.
Exactly.
So MAGA just went and was just like, "Oh, you trying to say he's one of us?"
And basically, that's what I'm saying. That was enough for them.
And he wasn't even saying that. He just says his criticism was MAGA is doing what they can to just tell us that he's like to reaffirm to us he's not one of us.
But bro, the shit like that make it not funny because again, it's our life. It's not in the book that we could read about. Like it's today. That nigga, like if you look at what the response has been to this man's death, regardless of if you feel like he's racist or not, look up what this man's accomplishments were and what his actual job was. He should not be getting a sold out stadium with pyrotechnic shows for his.
That's some WWE shit, bro.
Yeah, bro. Like, come on, man.
When his wife popped
He's
out,
white.
like, I was like, what is this?
Hustle.
Bro, he wasn't a government official. He wasn't
I'm not
like
even
a
gonna put
political
that on
agent.
Nip.
He was a person, bro.
I was like, this is the white Grammys?
He was
I respect Nip too much.
I'm not saying ethically. I'm saying he's white people's Nipsey Hussle because the rest of the world didn't know about Nipsey, and like I feel like Nipsey got like more. Like he became like a spiritual. The West Coast, we already knew about Nip. Yeah. And I'm saying like Nip became like a spiritual.
He became globalized after he passed.
And that's what white people are doing for. I'm not shitting on it. I'm not like dissing. Of course,
bro,
no.
They had the flags at half mast and they trying to put his face.
I'm actually dissing white people for being dramatic about this nigga's death.
Let's not say no names.
I almost just don't want to. I don't want to put Nip's name in anything like. Yeah.
No.
I understand the correlation you're trying to
saying
make,
they're being dramatic, like he was some type of stand up. Like he's like, I'm not knocking. I'm not taking. Any,
okay.
Yeah, I'm saying like they're acting like this nigga's Jesus. That's not dissing Jesus. That's saying like,
you know what
I mean?
Have you heard like at the dude who's the Secretary of Defense? I think it is. He was like it wasn't at the funeral, but he said like since, and I think it was like a podcast or interview or some shit. He was like, such and such died at 30 something. Jesus died at something. I can't think of anybody else who's accomplished more by that age. And it's like, bro, he's a popular podcaster. He's not a political official.
Facts.
I didn't even realize that he was slated to be a presidential candidate. Like I didn't realize
I
that
didn't
they
know
were
that either. Which is why I was
crazy.
He wasn't.
Can I
He got votes.
Can I say
He
this?
got votes the same way Kanye West got votes. The
I
same.
think he got more votes than
EJ,
Kanye.
I think you're underestimating.
Bro, they're acting
No,
they're acting like this is like Avengers and like Tony Stark died.
Bro.
Like they're acting like this is their
Yeah.
guy, bro.
We're talking about the next presidential election. JD Vance is the next.
No,
one to get tapped.
EJ.
Like, let's.
I think Buddy would have gave him some static. I don't know if he'd have won, but Buddy would have gave him some static.
I don't think it was a threat to win the next presidential election.
But I'm saying the future.
I'm saying like when he's like
Bro,
50 something
he was
years
only
old.
31.
Let's say when he's
Yeah.
let's say when he's 50 or
There's
he's
gotta be,
60.
what, 35
Yeah,
to be
35,
a president?
yeah.
I don't even think
So
I don't think
shit.
he would have. I think in his 40s, 50s, or 60s, I think like he was moving, like he could have been, like he was. And I think we the same way we underestimated Trump. I think we would have like white America would have looked at him as a continuation, like okay, like this is Trump.
This is the next iteration
Yeah,
of.
but he moved like a politician. He talked like one. He had his politician smile.
This is the difference. This is the difference. One, the man we're talking about, college dropout. Two, he would have been going up against another white male American.
He wouldn't have gone against Vance.
We don't know.
No, he would have gone against Newsom.
No, I'm not talking about the next one. I'm talking about
Yeah,
like,
Newsom definitely. He's trying to. Yup.
EJ, I'm talking about 12 years from now. I'm not talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you want to do 12 years from now, okay.
I'm
He
talking
couldn't
about- I don't
have
think-
ran in this
I don't think
upcoming
he would have
one.
ran in this upcoming
couldn't
one.
have.
I'm
He'd have been
talking
under
about
the
when he's
age.
old and seasoned.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's what's scary to me.
He was an ascending political figure of that side. He
Exactly.
was
And
that, yes.
they cut that shit early. I think he would have been an evil person down the road, and they cut that shit.
And last thing, the only thing that's very interesting with his death, just listening to what Candace Owens, the information she's been presenting, it seemed like obviously there was a lot of big money behind him,
100%.
and his agendas didn't align with, especially with like the Israel, Ukraine. You know, obviously the United States is in support of Israel. He wasn't in support of that, and it seems like there was some behind the scenes. There was a lot of disagreements because of that a few months prior to this. And there was some fallout from that. So it is going to be interesting to see like where this actually goes and what was the reason
down that rabbit hole, and like there was a if you look up like the history and the similarities of this and like the rise of Nazi Germany, there was a guy who had died, I can't remember his name, around that time, and he died in like shockingly similar like circumstances.
Similar fashion.
Yeah. And basically what they did was they tried to make it into like so the person who
Are you talking about Franz Ferdinand?
it wasn't him because
Okay.
it was like I'll find the name and I'll text
Okay.
it in the chat or something. But like they do this thing where it's like somebody dies and they take all the facts and they wash it. That's why it's so important that they have like this Brandon Carr situation with the FCC, or like they're controlling the media, because you have to think about it. And like this is the part that makes it interesting but sad. The average American has a 6th grade reading level. It's not hard to manipulate people. It's not hard to manipulate the masses.
Facts.
All they have to do is go, oh, well, we looked through his house and we found this journal where he actually was a staunch Obama supporter. And then it's like, it's not hard to mobilize
And then
their
it becomes
side.
fact.
Yeah, it's not hard to mobilize their side. So it's like with this, the thing that's the scariest about it is thinking about what we know as fact, quote unquote, today, and looking at how easily that can be manipulated, because you have to remember,
Over time.
everybody at this couch went to college. Everybody at this house has a higher than a 6th grade reading level.
Right.
We are not the norm.
Right.
The average person is very easily swayed. So it's like,
And on top of that,
It's
it's
sick.
like intelligence agencies within the United States, in Russia, across seas, that are also doing the same thing,
Yes.
trying to spin their narratives.
yes. That's why.
And then what you said,
USC
niggas
lost
don't
to
even have a
Iowa.
6th. They lost? Damn, all right. And then niggas don't even have a 6th grade reading level?
Yes, that's
So
what
it's
I'm
all them
saying.
things in the crock pot?
That's why
Hell
I'm like,
nah.
the stuff gets scary when you realize that the average person that like anybody on this couch is talking to is not the people that they're targeting. Because it's like, oh, you went to college? Oh,
I
you-
forget that.
Like, oh, you don't have
think they
kids and you're
weaponize
already 30?
religion a lot, too,
We're not
though.
talking to y'all. We're
They-
talking to like the average American.
Christianity is weaponized too
Oh,
to
for
like
sure.
Religion in general
that's
is
a whole,
weaponized.
yeah, that's a whole
Every-
nother.
Every
yeah.
single religion is weaponized, and
Yes.
we see like we see it.
Even with this situation.
How are you not going to be sad that he died? He was a Christian man. It's like, all right, dude.
I've seen. So what? He was a Christian, nigga. He wasn't a good one.
I've seen a lot of people post about this situation and not post about
nothing.
Oh, come on, bro. Come on,
bro.
You telling on yourself, and this is gonna get into my hot take, but I'm a dead here, but. Yeah,
a real life situation played out because of that very fact, bro.
Come on,
and
bro.
it's dividing up our So I'm
man,
gonna say
fuck that nigga. I'm sorry, my bad. You can cut that. Fuck that nigga. He's the most overrated white nigga in the past 5 years.
I'm not gonna cut it because
I didn't say a name.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck that nigga.
There we go. See, James,
that right? I'm catching on. I didn't know.
Thank you.
I thought you were cutting it because you thought I was saying something that was too controversial.
I would never censor. I just let's be smart about it
because they are putting people on the list.
I didn't know like you're getting. Like if you see these names,
no, bro, they're putting people on these lists, bro.
That's why I was getting hot. I was like, yo, I can't even fucking. I thought this was a real life shit podcast.
No, bro, they're putting.
It's that real life shit, nigga.
I let y'all talk about anything, bro.
Okay. This is one of them ones.
But let's be smart about like what we talk about.
Bro, they are putting people on them lists, and people like I know there was a professor at my law school who got fired, and all she said was like, "We shouldn't be as sad as we are that this man died." And they fired her at an HBCU. Yeah. Like they are putting people on them lists, and I wouldn't be surprised if they start going missing, bro.
Have y'all heard what he said about Martin Luther King Jr.?
It does not matter.
It doesn't matter. They don't give a fuck, bro. That's what's clear. They don't give a fuck.
Common sense, but
it's not. We're not dealing with logic. We are not dealing with logic.
Because again, remember, 6th grade reading level. Like, just keep that fact in your brain, and that'll make it all make sense. They're not intelligent people, bro.
That was this. That was this week's. Did Trump do that? And you know the answer is always.
We should have done the Tylenol shit.
Yes,
I love how you raised my hand. Like, okay, let's do it. I don't know what James about to say. Let's do it.
I was like, if he's asking to speak, let's just.
I was about to say something crazy.
Tylenol shit might have been safer, bro.
The women say, bro, I was just like, whatever you guys want to talk about, I'll talk about.
I was gonna say, tell Biggie Smoke.
Whoa. That Tylenol shit is hilarious.